in from their standpoint as to what has happened. But once again, 200 people, at least 200 people, were evacuated from the General Services Administration building in Burlington Township. 23 people were taken to area hospitals because of the chemical spill. We will continue following this all day and have a lot more coming up at 5 and 6 o'clock tonight. Reporting live from Burlington Township, I'm Dawn Witt, KYW3 Eyewitness.
Barrels of chemicals from the warehouse. Reporter Matt O'Donnell is live now on the action cam from the scene with the very latest. Matt.
Well, Rick, nevertheless, this is a very important federal government building. So when the call went out at about 9:03 this morning, there were a number of agencies rushing to the scene. There were police, there were ambulances, fire departments. There was also the Department of Defense coming to find out what happened. The chemical spill, as you said, happened here at the General Services Administration building. It serves as a warehouse to supply supplies to government buildings all across the Northeast. 23 people were rushed to area hospitals this morning after suffering respiratory problems due to the chemical spill. The chemical is called calcium hypochlorate. It's basically the same chemical used to clean swimming pools. It smells similar to bleach. At around 8:30 this morning, some employees were transporting some containers filled with the product. A few containers tipped over and began to spill out. The employees decided to begin cleaning up the spill, but when contact was made between the chlorate and some of the packaging materials, authorities say a small fire started. Here's more from a township spokesman.
While they were in the process of cleaning it up, it mixed with the packing material actually that the chlorine was mixed with, created a chemical reaction which erupted into a small fire. The fire was put out rather quickly, but then they had to deal with the cloud. It was the chlorine cloud that caused the 23 people needed to be transferred to hospitals.
And next thing I know, you're telling everybody, go outside, the fire alarm went off, get out. There's a fire in the paint room.
Now the fire was put out. 23 people near the spill began having breathing problems after inhaling the fumes. Conditions of all these victims are unknown at this time, but we are told at least one person is in serious condition. 10 others were treated and released from the hospitals. And just 25 minutes ago, employees began leaving the property en masse, telling us yet another fire had flared up. No word on what caused that, but we understand that one has been put out. It is safe to say that this building is closed and will be closed for hours. The EPA, the Environmental Protection Agency, will be arriving here to conduct tests, air quality tests, to make sure that the fumes did not get into the ventilation systems and have spread out throughout the building. And about 15 minutes ago, there were a number of delivery trucks lined up along here at the entrance. They were waiting to drop off supplies. They were told to go home. So again, situation under control. They're trying to determine if this chemical has spread throughout the building. Live in Burlington Township, New Jersey, Matt O'Donnell, Channel 6 Action News. Rick.
Matt, thank you. The manhunt is on this noon following another escape from
administration warehouse on River Road in Burlington Township. Chopper 10 over the scene as hazmat crews work to clean up the spill inside. Police say the noxious fumes developed after granular chlorine spilled onto the floor and then reacted with packing material. The chlorine was stored in the warehouse and is used by government-owned water treatment plants. 180 workers had to be evacuated. The sickened workers were treated and released from a local hospital. Well, across
people to the hospital in Burlington County. Now, here is where it happened. In Burlington Township at the GSA warehouse on River Road. Right now, Eyewitness News reporter Dawn Witt is live on the scene with the very latest tonight. Dawn?
And Larry, authorities told us that the situation was under control about 11:30 this morning. But for most of the day, we have continued to see emergency vehicles streaming in and out of here all day long. 23 people went to the hospital because of the chemical spill. And at this point, it appears the spill was an accident.
You could smell it all morning.
This was the scene at the General Services Administration building this morning. Employees say when they arrived at work, they discovered a chemical had fallen from its shelf and spilled. The chemical is called calcium hypochloride, which is about 65% chlorine.
While they were trying to clean it up, there was some reaction with some of the packing material that was mixed in with the chlorine, which created a vapor cloud, erupted into a small fire. The fire was put out very quickly, but then they had to deal with the chlorine cloud, and that's where all the people were overcome by those fumes.
Yeah, they had to clean it up, and then about a half hour later, they said, get out, it's on fire. And the next thing we know, it smelled really bad, so we all ran outside, and the people started going down.
It's right outside the hazmat rooms. It's where we keep all our paint and all our other chemicals out there. They happen right outside the doors of that. They closed everything up, told everybody to get out.
Oh, they were pouring it into the steel drum to, contain the, to clean it up. and it ignited somehow. All the chlorine around ignited, and everything is hazardous in that area, so this all went up.
I felt throat burning, chest burning, not able to breathe, dizziness.
More than 200 people were evacuated. 23 had to be treated at local hospitals, and the company closed down for the remainder of the day. Some employees say some of the other employees who started helping to clean up the chemical spill were not properly trained to do so. They also say they were not wearing the proper protective gear.
They were supplied with those cloth masks like a painter might have, and this one guy had a heart attack from the fumes, and he was in convulsions. I thought the guy was scared. I prayed so hard I was crying because I just thought the man was dying in front of my face.
The General Services Administration has not returned our phone calls about the chemical spill, but most people were treated and released from area hospitals within just a few hours. And most of those injuries were respiratory in nature. According to authorities, there is one man who was hurt a little more seriously than the others, but we really don't have any more information on his condition at this point. Reporting live from Burlington Township, I'm Dawn Witt, KYW3 Eyewitness News.